All right, in this video, we're going to look at trying to find the moment of inertia for this I-beam around the x-axis here. So we're looking for the x-axis. As you look at this, we're going to say, hey, there's nothing in our table. So you go back up here to our table that looks like an I-beam. So we need to break it up into composite, basically a built-up beam with different sections to it. So we're going to start with, at the top, we're going to see that we have one of the rectangles up here. So we'll consider that to be the first one. Down at the bottom, we're going to have another rectangle that kind of mimics that. And then also in the middle, which this is called the web of that beam, we have a third rectangle. Okay, so this is our three shapes. So with moment of inertia, the way this works is that these add up together to give us the total. So if I want the total moment of inertia, total resistance to rotation or bending, that's equal to the Ix of the red section plus Ix of the blue section plus Ix of the green section. So we just add each of those up individually to get to this piece here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start just with our blue, Ix of the blue. And in doing so, you're going to say, hey, let's go first to our table. Anytime we're trying to build these up, we know that we have this shape here. This is the rectangle. Let's see if it matches something in our table, because if it matches that, it's much easier to do that. And notice that the centroid goes right through that axis. So we'll come to the blue, and we're going to go to here, and we'll say, hey, we have a blue axis. Our blue axis basically goes right through the middle, through the centroid of that. And so if we have base and height, we can use one of these formulas on the other side to use that. Now the question is, which one is that? So going through here, Ix, that's the bottom one. And in our case here, I'm just going to put a little different color on this. The Ix bar, that means that bar means that it goes through the centroid, so that's this one here. You'll notice that there's two different equations. The z-axis, by the way, is the one sticking out of the page, so we're not going to worry about that for right now. So the question is, which one of these two are we going to use? And if we look back at our piece here, and I'll just put this in, this matches what we're trying to do here. This is the x-axis that we're trying to find, and that's representative of the orange one there. So we're going to use this formula, bh cubed over 12. So I'm going to pull that down here in that formula, bh cubed over 12. The thing to note here is that if it's directly from something in there, we can basically use it directly. So in the table, that is, and we're going to pull our base on that one. We're going to pretend that just for when you think base, think of it as like your feet are the base, and that base of that triangle is equal to 2. And the height of it, or the overall height, is equal to 20. I apologize. Okay, so we put that into our equation here. We have 2 times 20 cubed divided by 12, and that gives us 1,333 inches to the fourth. So the blue section is 133 inches to the fourth. Now what we're going to do is go up to the Ix for the red section. So we're going to pull this red section down here, and if we were to say, hey, here's the centroid of that, we care about the x-axis down here. How does that match up to what we have here? And what you're going to say is, hey, that red section, there's our centroid. So the centroid is right at the top there. That's what matches that. And then our axis that we care about is actually all the way down here. We'll just put it at a random spot. This is the x-axis that we care about. And on the right side, we have Ix, which is through the x right here. We have Ix prime, which is, again, through the centroid axis. So these two equations, if we were looking for either this one here or this one here. If the axis that we cared about was through that place, it would be that. But in our case, we're looking for this third axis way down here at an arbitrary distance. So what does that mean? That we cannot use either of these formulas, but we need to include now the formula, which is the parallel axis theorem that we developed up at the top. And that formula is Ix prime plus dy squared times a. I'll just put this in colors so we can kind of follow a little better here. Dy squared times a, like that. So let's go through these individually. The most important one here is the Ix prime. That means we are looking for the x prime axis as though it goes directly through here. So what is the centroid axis? This is always going to be the moment of inertia through this centroid. You cannot start here at the bottom. You have to do through the centroid and then add the dy value to it. So let's start with that Ix prime. So for a rectangle, if you come down here, which one is that? That is right here. Notice the centroid axis is the yellow one. So we want to use that for our axes. So bh cubed over 12. bh cubed over 12. If we put in the values for that, we have b is equal to 8, and then the h is equal to 2. Now the dy, what's that value? dy, this is the distance from the axis that we care about to the centroid of the axis that is there. This is our dy value. How far did we travel there? And you'll notice we went 10 plus another half the way of that 2, so that's going to give us to 11. 11 inches. Okay, so, and finally the area. Area is just the area of the overall shape here. That's this area, which you can see is 2 times 8 equals 16. So build all that down here, and we have 8 2 to the third divided by 12 plus 11. That's squared. That dy value gets squared times your area of 16, which is a value of 1,941 inches to the fourth. Okay, so if you look at the blue and the red, we have calculated those values. Now, what about the green one? Does it matter that it's below the axis as opposed to above? And because we have this squared value in here, so that squared dy, what we're going to find is that because it's the same distance down there, notice that this centroid is 11 from here, we're going to find that Ix green is equal to Ix red. Doesn't matter if it's above or below. In terms of resistance to rotation, it's going to be the same value, 1941 inches to the fourth. And that means all we need to do next is to get the total. We're going to bring that total all the way down here. I total is equal to 1,333 inches to the fourth plus 2 times 1,941 inches to the fourth gives us a final value of 5,215 inches to the fourth. That's the total moment of inertia.